very, very much. The next is a last session. Record this, this is an instruction, so when you go home, you can now do it yourself. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now we are on to our last panel, and it's a very good one. Why? Because as you know, Ghana is blessed with natural resources. However, how best we use those natural resources to transform the most important part of the economy, which is the people. And to discuss this and to get deeper, we have a panel consisting of some experts. The first I'd like to bring forward to the stage is Dr. Theo Acheampong, who's an energy economist and political business analyst. Please join us on stage. Then we have Honourable Minister Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, Minister of Information. Please join me on stage. Round of applause. Okay. Then we have from Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, Michael Ansah, CEO. Thank you very much. And then we have from senior partner Egalite Law, Koreedu Edu. Can we please join me on stage? Thank you. And last but not least, the woman from Wanderman bring this all together. She's a legend. Founder of Kina Advisory, Rosalind Kenya MBE. And just to note, if you're asking a question from the audience, please make a question. You have been warned.
Okay, right there. Yeah,
good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the organisers of this conference for inviting me to moderate this very important panel. So without much ado, because I know we're sort of outside time a bit, so we'll try and keep it short, constructive and sweet. The overall theme for this summit is accessing the African common market through Ghana, technology, digitization and industrialization. The topic for discussion on this panel is how Ghana can and should leverage its natural resources for economic transformation. One of the first questions when I saw the topic was, what do we mean by economic transformation? I presume that this isn't just a reference to the transformation of the Treasury, but to sustainable and inclusive socio-economic development that touches and transforms the lives of every single Ghanaian. But we'll ask our panelists to confirm that I have this interpretation right. So just to give some context, first about our primary natural resources. Ghana's economy is still built on three primary raw materials: gold, cocoa, and more recently, oil. Revenue from our cocoa exports is around $1.4 million US. That was in 2018. That's 14% of our foreign exchange earner. Our revenue from gold exports is about 36.4% of our foreign exchange earner. And revenue from crude oil, just a little bit above 30%. So you can see that these three natural resources are quite significant for our economic development. Some context around our socio-economic development. In the last 27 years, Ghana's poverty rate has dropped by 23%. The poverty rate dropped by 25% between 1992 and 2005. Our Human Development Index value for 2018 put the country in the medium human development category, positioning it at 142 out of 189 countries and territories. Below the average for countries in the medium human development group, but above the average for countries in sub-Saharan Africa. And between 1990 and 2018, our AGI value has increased by 31.1%. So my first question to the panel, and I'll start with the Honourable Minister, is what do we mean by economic transformation? And is my assumption about sustainable and inclusive socio-economic development right?
So this sounds like an A-level section B question. But Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and let me congratulate the organizers for creating a platform like this. I think for me the simplest way to explain economic transformation is a transformation in the microeconomics of people that impacts in their quality of life on a sustainable basis. Whatever you're doing at the high levels and the macro figures that you're checking out, most importantly, it must reflect in the lives of people. And that is what we seek to do with all of that we have been trying to develop in our country in recent years. Every country in some part of the world has its own endowments. And no doubt that Africa is endowed with a lot of natural resources. The data suggests that about 30% of the world's known mineral resources reside in Africa. And Ghana plays a key role in being a leader in exploiting those resources. The broad policy objective is that, yes, while you're developing people, while you're leveraging technology and digitization, as Honorable Osuekufo was talking about, the broad policy objective is how do you exploit these natural resources in a responsible and sustainable manner, and in a manner that impacts on the economic fortunes of, yes, the greater community, and most importantly, citizens. That's the big policy objective. Now, for centuries now, maybe 50, 60 years now, we've been operating a particular model, essentially, which is to give somebody a concession to exploit our resources, and then he typically tells us how much of the resources he was able to exploit, and you pay whatever taxes accrue. And then we are supposed to use that to meet our myriad of needs as a country. And it comes with its own challenges and successes in its various ways. Because what you want to do is get some money for the treasury, get jobs for the people, get value for the local community, and you also let it translate into development. But like I mentioned, this has had its own challenges. We have in recent years shifted to what I'll call a new model, where apart from, let's say, gold and diamond, a lot of which was already given away as concessions, we're now, particularly for the new minerals like bauxite and iron and steel, etc., what we are doing is to develop a new framework that allows us to have our own development operations as a first step. Second, to begin to shift from the old model of just extract and export. So now you're moving to a model where you want to add value to a lot of our mineral resources. Because if you look at the global value chain and you look at how much of it we get at the end of the day, we are cheating ourselves. So the next thing we're seeking to do is to add value to it. For the new resource areas and even for some of those that we have recently discovered, like oil, we're also paying a lot more attention to local content. Because for many centuries, what was happening was that you were not getting indigenous companies being at the forefront of participating in the exercise. And so now we're paying a lot more attention to local content, which offers a lot of investment opportunities for people to partner with local companies to play on some parts of the value chain that may not require necessarily a global giant soul to do. And then, in addition to these, we are now also looking at how to better manage the resources. So for the first time, in the area of oil, for example, we've passed a petroleum revenue management act, which spells out exactly how to use the revenues. In other areas, we are doing swaps and other things like what we just done with Sino Hydro of China to leverage those resources to build about $2 billion worth of infrastructure. So we are rolling out a new model that ensures that we still achieve the big policy objective, but we cure some of the challenges of the past and are able to achieve that objective of economic transformation in the lives of the people.
Okay, thank you very much. Turn to Michael, if I may. You were relatively new kids on the block with the integrated bauxite and aluminum industry. And I think we might have investors in this room today who might be interested in hearing exactly what your plans are. So just use the opportunity to tell us about, is it GEADIC, sorry. Vision and strategy, and how you plan to contribute to the sort of economic transformation that the local minister is talking about.
Thank you very much for that question. And again, I'd like to echo the words of the minister to thank the organizers for what is a splendid conference, bringing together people to talk about investment opportunities in Ghana. And I'm sure you've heard several areas that you can invest in. But turning to the question, the minister again mentioned the whole purpose for which we established Parliament about a couple of years ago. We've established the corporation now is working fully towards building an integrated aluminium industry. I think I'll make any apologies for what is our vision, which is to create a world-class integrated aluminium industry in Ghana that will be a leader in Africa, and that will leverage the resources that God has blessed our nation with, the bauxite reserves that God has blessed our nation with, in building this industry. Now, bauxite mining in Ghana dates back to some 70 years or more. We also have an aluminium smelter in Tema, which was built in 1967, but we have never actually pooled all the resources that we have in one vehicle. And what the vision of the President is doing is creating GIADEC as the home where we'll have all the bauxite reserves, we'll have all the assets that we have as a nation within the space of the entire value chain, and then to use all of this in driving a coordinated development of the industry. So the word integrated there is important because for the first time, we're also bringing together the thinking around the development of the infrastructure that will enable the development of this industry. So if you ask me, why have we not been able to build a successful integrated aluminium industry in Ghana over the past 70 years? I will say it's the lack of joined-up thinking, it's the lack of pulling all these resources together into one vehicle, it's the lack of a defined vision that is anchored in what we're trying to do. And this gives credence to the President's vision of a Ghana Beyond Aid, i.e. where we're bringing these resources together, as the Minister said, adding value to it. So we're not looking just to mine bauxite, we're looking to refine bauxite in Ghana, we're looking to smelt aluminium in Ghana, and more importantly, we're looking to encourage the development of downstream industries. The Minister for Trade talked about car manufacturing, for instance, coming to Ghana. We want to build an industrial base that will support the development of these sorts of industries that are coming to Ghana. And that is what the economic transformation is all about. It's about creating jobs, building a strong economy that is anchored across this whole value chain and developing this in its essence. Your other question also related to the strategy of GIADEC, and essentially we have in the region of about 900 million metric tons of bauxite in Ghana, and that places Ghana amongst the top 10 globally. What we haven't done is to actually do what I'll call mineral resource estimates, which will define the quality and the quantity of bauxite that we have. So one other thing that this government has done, which it has to be commended for, is to invest in building the mineral resource estimates, which make our resources bankable, using international acceptable standards of measurement. That information is going to be available in the next few months and we'll make that public, which will tell us the quantity and the quality of bauxite for the first time. So at the moment, the 900 million metric tons we talk about is actually the historical estimates. And I hope we'll be pleasantly surprised, as in we'll have more resources than we think we have. So from a strategy point of view, we want to develop the Awasu mine that we've been doing for 70 years now. We want to develop the resources that we have in Ninahin, which is in the region of about 700 million metric tons. We want to develop what we have in Kibi, or Chibi as well, which is the region of about 180 million metric tons of bauxite. So altogether, we're looking at about 4 mining enterprises, but developing refineries as well, close to the mines, a couple of refineries, and then building smelters as well. So our vision is to build a fully integrated industry that also leverages on the development of the associated infrastructure like railways and ports and power.
Thank you very much. Very comprehensive. I think anybody out there who's looking to invest will know exactly what to do next. So thank you for that. Talking about financing, all this needs money. Theo, you are the economist in our midst, so the person closest to financing on this panel. So we're hearing more and more about sustainable finance. That is financing that integrates environmental, social, and governance factors into the business and investment decisions. And even more about climate change and its implications for particularly the hydrocarbon industry, but I think industry generally. And this isn't just coming from the young Gretas of this world or from civil society players, as was traditionally the case, but from those who are actually providing the financing for our integrated bauxite and aluminium industry, for the oil and gas sector, for other natural resources sectors. So, although international oil companies will finance exploration from, say, their balance sheet, they need to get third-party funding for development and operations. And many financiers are asking more and more about these ESG issues, particularly for corporate and political governance. So, my question to you is, with Ghana still a relatively new oil and gas province, we still have a lot of untapped resources. What does Ghana need to do against this global backdrop to attract the investors into the oil and gas industry across the value chain, as the Honourable Minister said, to achieve the level of economic transformation that we need?
Okay, thank you very much. And once again, thanks to the organizers for inviting me and inviting us to this panel. I think it's a big question you've asked. Naudeko could use sentiments as being an A-level exam question. But clearly, we need money and we need the resources to extract the natural resources that we've got on the ground and then turn it, into valuable, useful products. Historically, the issue has been that we often have stopped at the first or the second stage of the processing, where you just get the material and then you turn it into some intermediate products. But we will now want to move into more final end user products. So using the example of the integrated aluminum industry, you want to move from bauxite to alumina, and then you smelter into aluminium. It requires considerable resources. Traditionally, the financing would have come from European or Western-based banks, together with their private sector companies that will come in stream. However, what we've seen over the last 15 to 20 years has been a diversification of those sources of funding. So you would see a lot more Asian, entities, or Chinese banks, specifically entities, bringing in the financing or partnering with some state-owned enterprises to extract the resource. The ESG issues have not really been on the agenda. They are coming in most or more recently, to the extent that if you look at, there was an article on the FT a couple of days ago where most of the European banks and the people in the City of London are pulling away from these fossil-based or natural resource-based investments. So what that means is then that we need to look elsewhere for those finances. And if we are wanting to approach, for example, the Asian-related, transaction partners or the Chinese transaction partners, we need to adopt some of these standards and then, fit it into our own. So, there's been a big issue in Ghana in the last couple of months of the Itiwa bauxite range, and both civil society and a couple of people raising fundamental questions about the environmental social impact assessment, of that, and how that is being factored into the investment decision process going forward. I think it's going to become more and more on the agenda. But for your traditional sources of financing, i.e. the Western-based financial hubs, you would actually find them demanding a lot more. So for example, before a project would be sanctioned, they would want to see, environmental indicators. They want to see social governance indicators. They want to see to what extent is the resource actually going to create or lead to developmental outcomes. So then we've moved, or the conversation has moved from economic transformation to economic development. We have always been discussing this transformation for as long as I've been, in school. In fact, you could go back to the structural adjustment, in the mid-80s, and you can go back to post-independence, but we still haven't managed collectively to move from transformation to actually development. And that's where I think when we incorporate some of the ESG indicators, then one way also tying in the hands of the financiers to, think about wider or broader, developmental, issues. Just a quick point though is, with the Asian financiers, I think there will also be a pressure on them at the moment, you don't have ESG necessarily playing a big part in terms of the investment decisions they make. So you go to China and they're still building a lot of coal-fired power plants. But I think for us in Ghana and then in Africa at large, we would have to think much wider about the ESG issues. So with climate change, most of the estimates actually would indicate that we stand to bear the biggest brunt of the impact, of climate-related issues.
Thank you very much. Korea, when we met last week to discuss this panel, you talked about some factors that wouldn't necessarily be front of mind for people when talking about economic transformation in this context. You mentioned the capacity and competence of us, Ghanaians, whether it's government or private sector, to negotiate terms that are a win-win for both investors and businesses in Ghana as well as for the country. The need for international companies who are coming into the country to properly understand the context in which they are operating. I have to say that it always astonishes me, I discussed this, when I find visitors to the country coming and wanting to see the minister the next day. And I always think, well, if I went to your country and want to see the minister the next day, you'll be looking at me like I was a crazy woman. And it's these sort of things that we kind of need to maybe help investors understand. So I just wondered, as a lawyer who advises investors and businesses coming into Ghana, what would you advise from a legal perspective on what it takes to become a profitable business in the country, and one that at the same time contributes to the sort of economic transformation we're talking about here?
Yeah, thank you, Rosalind, and good afternoon, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here. It's a really fantastic conference showcasing Ghana at its I would say, at its zenith at the moment. It's incredible to be able to celebrate that here. I want to be a bit disruptive, and we've had some fantastically positive statements about Ghana, which I echo, but we need to look at these issues in the round. And I think it's quite possible for us to take too narrow a view on some of these issues, and particularly when we're looking at investment into the extractives industry. Ghana is entering into a phase of new and rich opportunities to exploit our natural resources. But we all have a responsibility, of course, to ensure that that exploitation takes place in a very significantly accountable way, given the risks that are involved. And the first thing I tend to advise when I'm advising multinational clients, say, on compliance issues coming into this part of the world, thinking about risk, one of the first things I want clients to focus on is the requirement to consider not just the local context of the investment, not just the mine you're going to build and the community you're going to give jobs to and the value-adding manufacturing industry you're going to produce out of that, but what is the collateral damage that you may do to the community in creating that industry? We're creating a number of innovative industries for Ghana, and at the same time we have a concomitant responsibility to ensure that we make those industries responsible ones. And we're not just looking at responsibility to communities in Ghana. The world is looking at us. The world is considering the way in which we extract these natural resources, because what we do here impacts on the rest of the planet. There are statistics which are heartbreaking that say that in Ghana today, there is more plastic in our ocean than fish that we can extract for feeding our communities. Now that is a serious recent development. Do we want the rest of our natural resources exploitation to go the same way? We have been mining gold for over a century in an industrial way. But today we cannot look at our gold industry, which is an industry which really should be, and quite often is marked out as a leading industry in the world, for gold, and say that we've dealt with some of the collateral problems around it. We have a huge problem with Galamsey. We have problems coming down the river, literally, in terms of the contamination of our water sources, which are being caused by that. Now, if you are a private sector organization coming into Ghana, into the extractives, and you're thinking myopically about the benefits you're going to create in this specific industry and not looking downstream, there's a problem waiting to happen. And international NGOs, international organizations, the international media, as well as our local media and local stakeholders, are watching us. It's fantastic. We have an information minister who has these skills and has an incredible record in the media and appreciates these issues. But we need to ensure that we extract responsibly. Those are some of the things that I try and guide clients through when looking at this.
Thank you very much. You've, I think, articulated a really significant problem, but I'm a very solutions-oriented person. What's your solution to this?
Excellent, excellent follow-up, thank you. And I think the answer is that we need a holistic approach. We need to be imaginative. We need joined-up thinking, and we need to tap into international expertise in these areas. And I think maybe this is something we will come on to, but one of our challenges is we perhaps try to reinvent the wheel sometimes. When we look at the oil and gas industry and the challenges we've had in neighboring countries, have we really tapped into the lessons from that? In fact, funny enough, in the last few days we've been celebrating that. We haven't talked about corruption very much.
Definitely, he's talking about Nigeria there.
Now,
If
have we
many
learned
countries on
lessons
oil and gas.
from countries very close to us, where, for example, there have been $1 billion kickbacks given for oil deals? Do we want Ghana's oil industry to go the same way? So I think a holistic approach which extracts the lessons from others who've done what we're doing, combined with using our fantastic local and international expertise we have access to, is really the way forward.
So you want to...
Yes, I'm happy he highlights the responsibilities that he thinks international companies seeking to take advantage of these opportunities have. But I think for us, the biggest responsibility is on the government of Ghana. If there will be irresponsible or illegal exploitation of our resources to lead to a situation where you have problems literally running down the streams, it will only happen if the government of Ghana falls asleep or just gives up its obligation. And I think we all recognize that a few years ago, many of these regulatory functions were not being upheld as well as they should have been. Today, one of the first things that you're doing or you're finding is that we have a more robust legal framework, even for the new mineral areas that we want to go into, like iron and steel, like bauxite, etc. Before we even necessarily go hardcore in there, we're putting a very strong legal framework around it. If you go back just a little into oil, when we discovered oil around 2007 or so, President Kufuor at the time assured that we focused on putting in place such an elaborate framework that things like corruption, things like leaving oil resources out there in places where you could have spillages and all the challenges that come attendant to them were so well dealt with that today you may not find so many of them here. So you are finding the state rise up to its obligation a lot more today than it was happening in the past. Indeed, in the earlier panel discussion about the fintech industry, one of the things we've done is to put in place a robust legal framework, which does a number of things. It also gives clarity to the potential investor that these are the laws, these are the requirements, these are the consequences. And then finally, if you go back into some of the areas where in the old model, we organize things in such a way that gave us problems, like gold. Now you are seeing us even amend some of the old laws and make it quite punitive, extremely punitive, to indulge in some of the practices that at first you could get away with. And then you also now find the state, you're finding the state now fight head-on against irresponsible and illegal mining and introduce new measures that create opportunities for people who want to do it well and still come down hard on those who don't intend to do it. So I think as we're getting into this space, those who are coming in or those who intend to come in should also pay attention to this framework for equity.
You know, I'm a very a stickler for time, and I've been very good, but I'm now told that we are running out of time, and I've got to let the audience ask questions. I have a last question, very important one to ask, and then I'll go to the audience, if that's okay. It is about the oil and gas industry, and I think, with all due respect, Minister, 2 minutes to you and 2 minutes to you. So we've had oil and gas production for almost 10 years now. What do you see as the successes of the industry? What has the industry accomplished? But more, secondly, what does the industry need to do in the next 10 years to remain relevant to the economic transformation that we've talked about? So 2 minutes each.
The successes are quite clear on the face. First of all, we've had such a robust regime that we're having production being responsibly done, revenues coming in, and revenues which are now being used to fund some of the most important things in the states, like the Free Senior High School program, which are coming through the oil revenues there. Now, moving forward, one of the things that we're paying a lot of attention to is developing the local industry to participate in it. We don't want local companies just as funds, but we want local expertise developed. What that means is that there's room for partnership from people here in this auditorium who have good expertise in that area to partner with local companies and play those parts of the value chain that really do not require big multinational to come in. And we believe that in so doing, not only will we give jobs and incomes to people, but we'll also be able to create wealth locally and let that wealth stay home and have its own stimulant effects downstream.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think what we've done really well in the oil and gas space is to create a fairly robust regulatory and legal framework. So starting 2010, as he mentioned, we've had a Petroleum Revenue Management Act, we've had a new Exploration and Production Act that has been passed. There's been 6 or 7 other LIs that have been passed, from health and safety to fiscal metering, etc. And what these collectively have done really is to give a very clear direction as to what the expectations of the state are. And that you can see that in a number of rankings. So you look at the NRGI index, Petroleum Policy Index, and Ghana consistently is #1 in Sub-Saharan Africa. So that's well and good. I still think there are issues with the management of the revenue. So the law is 110, but sometimes we spread the revenues around too thinly, as you would often hear, and we need to do more on that. But finally, on the big ticket issue, I would expect in the next 10 years for us to build a bigger value chain. So now moving from the oil and gas to actually petrochemicals, but also the local industries that can participate. So it's not just enough to have local content, but you need to back it up with the actions. So you go to Brazil, for example, where they have very active supplier development programs, SDPs, that create exemplars to the extent that in 10 years you may have your equivalent of the South Korean tables to do that. At the moment, a lot of the local industries are participating at the lower end of the spectrum, transportation, health and safety, but we need to see them taking a bigger chunk. And that requires technology, financing, partnerships, etc.
Okay, thank you very much. 3 questions at most? I can't see. 3 questions. Okay, 2. Okay, 2 questions. I can see one hand waving. Yes. Oh. I can only ask 2. So that one and the gentleman over there who might be. Are you an investor? Are you a potential investor? Because I'm looking for questions from potential investors. Okay. So one over there who might be a patriotic Ghanaian, I hope, and then our investor.
Thank you very much, Ghana. I'm from Kenya myself. I'm the African Wonder Woman, but I'd love to applaud the Ghana government for the work that you're doing. Thank you so much, and I know that I'm also a community change maker, but to applaud your panel, I would love to applaud Korea, who has addressed the issues of the CSR And we are absolutely delighted as change makers to hear that Ghana is taking the forefront of approaching the issues of exploitation. Well done, Ghana, and I'm absolutely grateful for setting the pace for other presidents to also take the pace of Ghana investment opportunities. And I'm absolutely delighted to see that you set that precedent. Thank you.
You go, girl. Wow. And this is the African Wonder Woman. She just made Kenya proud, Ghana proud, and me, Nigeria proud.
And absolutely, thank you so much. And I'm here with Straight Talk. Thank you so much for joining in. Sister Marlene, many thanks.
Vivian for everyone. One question. Okay? Right now, in the oil and gas sector, Ghana is looking for new opportunities to bring projects. However, investing in these huge capital expenditures demands probably in 20, 40 years, huge decommissioning expenditures. Is Ghana having a strong framework to dismantle these type of assets? Because we are bringing money to the country, however, in the future, we are creating an important liability for the country as well. Thank you.
Very good question, thank you. I'll ask Theo to answer that and Ori to probably.
So the answer to that is absolutely yes. And you can see it in the core legislation. So if you look at the EMP Act 919, the specific provisions that deal with decommissioning and general health and safety. But then when you look at the actual petroleum agreement, that also deals with decommissioning in two ways, but a key one is this. So unlike in Europe or in the North Sea, where the obligation for decommissioning is on the company, in Ghana and in other jurisdictions, what we've done in the petroleum agreement is a decommissioning fund. So for every dollar of production revenue that you get, at the point where you produce half of the reserves, then you need to start putting some money into the fund, and then you use that potentially 30, 40 years from there when decommissioning is due. And the reason is to prevent some of the mistakes that actually had happened in Nigeria, for example, and then and also in Angola. So the answer to that is yes.
Very, very brief add to that, which is we have a fantastic legislative framework in Ghana, but there are two sides to that coin. Legislation is about not only enforcement by the public institutions, the regulators, it's also responsibility on the investors, on the companies, to ensure that they comply with that legislation. So it's not about just what Ghana is having to do, it's also about what the companies themselves are doing, of course. And those companies are accountable, like I said earlier, not just to their shareholders, they're accountable to the world, and the world is looking at them. So it's really important that we look at this holistically, not just from the perspective of Ghana, but from the companies as well.
Yes, I want to make some comments, and I think it sort of cuts across the issues that we've been discussing. And when we talk of bauxite, people are often very concerned about the environment, are concerned about the corporate social responsibility issues, and in particular, Ghana, Etiwa Forest is an important thing. And I just want to make the point that I think the minister did make that point earlier, but we are living in a country where the president has made very clear the focus that we want to have in what we are choosing to do this in a very responsible way, to do this in a very accountable way, to do this in line with internationally accepted standards. We're working in line with the Equator Principles. We're holding ourselves accountable to what we're doing. We are using or leveraging the statutory agencies that we have, from Water Commission to Forestry Commission to the EPA, to make sure that they hold us accountable for how we're going to do the mining. I, for one, am very passionate about the environment. We want to make sure that we exploit these resources that God has blessed our nation with, but in a responsible way, in a balanced way, in a way that ensures that we use technology, we apply best-in-class practices across the world. As I speak, we are engaged with a number of international organizations, institutions, looking at best practice, looking at how we can do this in the right way. And we want to hold ourselves accountable for that to be the best in terms of how this is done and to do it in the right way. And I applaud the civil society organizations in Ghana and internationally who are looking at what we're doing. And we want them to hold us accountable for us to do things in the right way. And I know Ghana will show the way, and that's what we're focused on doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry that we had such a short time, and I'm sure you have lots of questions, and I think the panelists are around for the next hour or so. But I just wanted to give them each a second, maybe 5 seconds, to speak out to those who are potential investors here, and just to say what, in terms of the context of the natural resource sector, would you say to an investor coming into Ghana? What would your advice be to them? Literally 5 seconds, because I will interrupt if you go above that.
Yeah, I think we have the resources, the legal and regulatory environment is right, but we're looking to go beyond that to create sustainable partnerships to transform.
We've laid down the ground rules. Come find local partners and work with them.
I'll just amplify that. We need local partners in the bauxite integrated aluminum industry. Come and you'll make a good buck. Thank you.
I'm a lawyer under the UK and Ghana. I'm subject to the UK Bribery Act as practice in the UK and Ghana. I don't have to worry about bribery in my practice. That was a positive note I want to end.
Well spoken!
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, and thank you, Michael, for having me moderated. Thank you, everybody, for bearing with us.
Absolutely wonderful. I got a chance to say something, and I'm absolutely delighted for all the panel speakers this afternoon. And you can see Africa is waking up. Thank you.
Facts about plastics being in the sea and fish. Where's this going? We need to start having understanding before they get so to speak. I would like to invite our next speaker. He was elected to Ghana's parliament in 2001, and for 17 years he's been really pushing and driving forward the agricultural research space, especially in cocoa growing regions. I would like to please welcome to the stage the CEO of Ghana's Cocoa Board, Honourable Joseph Waheed Adrian. Round of applause.
And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I guess yesterday I was on stage, and today I've been brought here to let you know what cocoa is, then the opportunities that are in cocoa. Cocoa simply, by its botanical name, is Theobroma cacao. Theo is God, Bruma to drink. I don't know how many of you today took cocoa, but I'm sure many of you took coffee and then tea. You took cocoa as a beverage, not just as chocolate, but as a beverage. Now, in Greek mythology, the food of the gods literally made the gods become immortal. I'm not saying that go and take cocoa to become immortal. That is what they say. But the point is that cocoa has the highest known antioxidants. Amongst all the foods we have, it has antioxidants greater than green tea and greater than grapes. So when you take your red wine, even though red wine has a lot of antioxidants, cocoa has twice as much as antioxidants. And for green tea, it's more than 3 times. What antioxidant? Let me just take you. When you check the solar system, where you have the sun in the middle and then you have the various planets revolving around it. If you have that picture, and you take any atom, the atom has a nucleus, and then around it you have the neurons. Now, when neurons move in pairs, then should any neuron have that is unpaired situation, whereby it's going alone, then it becomes reactive instead of becoming active. And then it tries to, steal neurons from other cells. So in the case of human body, when oxygen, gets into our body cells and tissues, where you have neurons which are unpaired, we call that oxidative stress. And the antioxidants counteract oxidative stress. We must take note of that. When you have excess, reactive elements in your body coming from oxygen without any paired neurons, then they tend to generate the various diseases, the killer disease like diabetes, then you have cancer, you have stroke, you have hypertension, and so on and so forth. The cocoa has all the properties to counteract all these problems. So once you are taking your cocoa, you have no problem at all. Cocoa has what we call the anti-aging properties. The more cocoa you take, the younger you look. So by aging you take more cocoa.
Well spoken.
And a lot of studies are proving that when
now
you take
about cocoa.
Cocoa, stimulates the inner linings of the blood vessels. That's what we call the vascular dilation. Vasodilation. It's just vascular dilation. It expands the blood vessels. And then it thins your blood. And therefore prevents clotting of the blood. So the more cocoa you take, it's like you are protected from various diseases associated with your cardiovascular elements. So please take note and take more cocoa. It enhances your brain, that's cognitive performance, the brain bone mass for a lot of. So when you look at the minerals there, potassium, magnesium, calcium, zinc, very, very important. All these are in cocoa. Iron for blood, they are all there. About over 300 elements, in case it gets that small seed. Very, very important for every human being, from the child to the aged. And for those who are 40 years and above, once you hit that age, then all these problems start. If you are taking your cocoa, you will not be seeing your doctors. So take it. Now, Ghana produces premium cocoa. Ours is not just ordinary cocoa. You produce premium. You have the highest quality in the world. And therefore, the brands, name them Mars, Hershey, Barrichello, all of them, and they are producing their chocolates. They look for Ghana's cocoa. So if you are here, by the time I finish, most of you become chocolatiers who will be producing chocolates. You must be looking for the Ghana cocoa.
Yes.
It is the best, on the market globally. And this is so because we pay a lot of attention in producing our cocoa, right from the pre-harvest level up to post-harvest level. Now we are producing around 850,000 metric tons, and that is about 20%. We are the second leading producer of cocoa. We put in measures in place. In the medium term, that's the next 5 years, Ghana is going to produce about 1.5 million metric tons of cocoa. Now we have a lot of investment opportunities. One is fertilizers. Currently, you have 1.95 million hectares of cocoa landscape, and we need to bring in the fertilizer. Most importantly, if you want to establish a fertilizer factory in Ghana, organic fertilizer is the way. Because consumers are moving away from inorganic to organic foods. Therefore, organic fertilizer is key. Yes, I mentioned it here. And then we have the other chemicals, that's the pesticides. If you are bringing in the factory, or even if you want to supply fertilizer, the pesticides, for the fungicides, we are looking for non-copper-based fungicides. Because the copper-based consumers are moving from copper-based to non-copper-based. So you have to take note also of that. And then we are also interested in the infrastructure. We want to establish more irrigation across the country. We've started, but then we are talking about 1.95 million hectares. You can imagine the size of the irrigation facility we are looking for. So it's one way to go. And then we have our roads. Yesterday, the minister in charge of railway talked about railway to bring the cocoa to the ports and also to carry agricultural inputs to the farmers. Then we have other areas that is processing. Yesterday I mentioned that when you take the cocoa bean, the shell, when you put all the shells together, it comes about 20% waste. And every year, because we are exporting the cocoa, together with the shells, we are exporting a lot of waste. We want to add value to the shells and then, send them back to the farms. For the other points, investments in chocolates and candies and biscuits, you are familiar with. Now there's a potential, huge prospect into the future, in the sense that now we have an emerging market in Asia. In China alone, we have around 700 million, people in the middle class who are now about to consume chocolate and cocoa, but not the sweetie chocolate, because once you cross 40 years, you must be conscious of your sugar. Your sugar, please, take note. Once you cross that line, take note, moderate. And then when you hit 40 going, you can stop like me. No sugar. So there's a huge market in China, in India. But then Africa is a sleeping giant. We are yet to consume. The interesting thing is that African population is very young. The 1.3 billion people, the median age in Africa is 19.7. You have so many young people, and once development takes place, it means all these people will be interested. Because when you are young, you can take your cocoa with the sugar and the milk. And when in Asia too, the median age is 32. That's why they are now taking a lot of chocolate. When you come to conventional markets like Europe, like America, even here in Britain, the median age is 40. In Europe, it's 43. In UK here, it's 40. And when you have 40 median age, means most of them are, aged already or aging. And therefore, they are very careful about taking sugar. And that's why consumption of chocolate is flat in Europe and is flat in America. We want to stimulate consumption in all these places so that the market will be forever. So once upon a time, somebody said diamonds are forever, but chocolate is forever. Thank you.
Well done, well spoken. You've all heard. That is Coco from Africa, from Ghana. You heard that. That is how we do it.
We have agriculture, featuring physics, chemistry, biology, and then astronomy to add. Wow. You must be a lecturer.
Yes.
That was phenomenal. Thank you very much. Next up, we have a speaker who is the MD for State Housing Company, whose mission is to support Ghana's housing market and promote sustainable home ownership. We all know that. When you're paying, is it 2 years in advance for your house? That's impossible. But people are somehow doing it. So getting affordable housing is very, very important. So please welcome to the stage Mr. Pagna Abufu Apia. Once more, I'll just say, if someone's lost their phone, I have it. Samuel Ejiku, I have someone's phone, so if it's yours, please do come in.
Good afternoon. My name is Pagna Abufu-Apia. I'm the Managing Director for Ghana State Housing Company. And my Honorable Minister for Communications is telling me that I should remember everybody that my other name is Virus. So you can call me Virus. Virus. And I'll stand on existing protocols to make it quick. I've been told that we are running behind time. So just a brief, State Housing Company is the home construction arm of the government. And the company was established before independence and is 100% owned by the government. It says that, and this is a favorite words of my minister, Honorable Kashia, that foxes have holes, bears have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to live. With that, we consider home ownership and housing as a fundamental human rights. I'll give you a brief on the state of housing in Ghana now. Currently, majority of Ghanaians live in what we call compound houses. We have some flats, we have some semi-detached homes, and detached homes as well. But majority lives in compound houses. About 52%, we will call it substandard homes currently. We estimate that housing deficit in Ghana is a whopping 1.7 million. And the government expects currently private sector to be coming in with about 4,500. We are looking at increasing that. And this is a huge number, 800,000. For us to be able to wipe out our housing deficit in Ghana, we need 800,000 homes every year. So if you're a builder, or you're looking at investing in homes, don't look any further. Ghana should be your first point of call. So how is the government helping in terms of investors to bridge this gap? I'll start with a favorite of almost all investors that work into state housing. The government's flagship programs. Youth Employment Agency help pays for your labor. Now we have that for mostly unskilled labor. Now we have the Nation Builders Corps that also pays for your skilled labor. So basically, if you're an investor into housing now, you can immediately take advantage of these two to reduce your cost. This is out apart from the tax incentives that comes with investment in housing. So another way that we're looking at bridging the gap of housing is for the government, with state housing leading the effort in partnering with private investors. I know for most people, getting into Ghana is like looking for a needle in a haystack. State Housing Company helps you to navigate your way in terms of from land acquisition all the way to sales. So for example, if you are here and you're interested in housing, if you work in state housing, the government will help you to get unencumbered land so that basically you will not have to be worried about litigations. In the past, I know a couple of investors will say, well, I bought the land somewhere, I came back and 3 other people were contesting it. That is something that you don't have to be worried about going forward.
Well done.
Also, what is happening is that we are digitizing our land acquisition space to make your investment more secure. We're also giving direct contracts from the states to private individuals to help us build. And there's one thing that is not on this slide, but that's actually breaking news, is that currently, through the Ministry of Finance, the government is now subsidizing mortgages.
Fantastic.
For people who want to buy homes.
Well done.
So if you build,
well done, guys.
We are helping you to acquire the land, we are helping you to get your workforce, we are helping you to sell your homes, and now we are helping people to buy those homes. By so doing, your risk in this investment is to a bare minimum. These homes, the President has commissioned these homes about a month ago. These are brand new homes that State Housing Company built. These homes were sold out in a day. That should tell you the kind of demand that we have in our houses. Currently, State Housing Company, we have 0 homes on the market. But we are building every day. We can't do it all by ourselves. We need you in Ghana. State Housing Company will help you to get service plots. We also help with estate management. If you can just build and give it to us, and we will help you to manage it, so that you don't have to be worried about who's going to be cleaning the hallways, etc. We are trying to make your life as easy as possible by you investing in Ghana. Currently, State Housing just has about 31,000 housing units in 95 estates. We are in all 16 regions of the country. And the key thing is the last one. We have less than 7,000 rental units now. We need to quadruple that within the next 3 years. And that gives the opportunity to, if you're an investor in housing. Currently, we have about 10,000 units under construction across the country. But remember the figure that I gave earlier on? 800,000. This is just a drop in the ocean. We need more players. So over the last 3 years, I'll just give you a brief as to what State Housing has been doing. We've had a brand new estates in the Upper East region, we call the Rock Estates. We've done legacy courts in Accra as well, and there's also Malo courts. These are apartments we're trying to build up now. And this is what we call the Clark Court. It's also located right in the center of Accra, North Tennessee. And I'm showing you this, just in case you're also here, you need to buy a home. We are building more. The line is long. You can still contact us, because I expect that by the end of this presentation, a number of you here will be heading to Ghana to build homes.
That's right.
We have the J. Estates in Kumasi as well. And then the Marigold Court, which was just recently. And by the way, these are not computer-generated pictures. These are real pictures. I had a speech, some parents were like, Ghana, we know you usually have computer-generated pictures. These are real. If you go to Atlanta now, you see this house in their glory. So now we have a double cycle: construction, financing, and mortgages, all in Ghana. We are trying to be like the UK and other advanced countries. Now I'm giving you a list of companies, including COCOBOD, that I have to build homes for. Sorry, mistake. I'm not related. The investors in this room will help us to satisfy your needs. Ghana needs homes. This is my content, and I'll leave it on for as long as the MC will allow me. You can write down my email, and that's my cell phone number. That's the only mobile phone number that I have. Please, invest in Ghana and invest in housing. Thank you so much for your time.
I'm giving you an extra 5 seconds to take pictures. I'm so generous. Just to move on to the next speaker, we're going to stay within infrastructure. And
I'll put the details there if you want to buy a house in Ghana. I'll put the details there in a few minutes because I'm online. So thank you. Well done to Kwabena and the team.
And I still have someone's phone. I'm not sure if Christmas is January, but I still have your phone. So if you want your phone, please, you can't pick up for me.
Good afternoon. Just a quick correction. I am not Mr. Kojo Dukini.
You don't look like it.
My name is Adlai Obukwama. I'm Deputy Managing Director for Southern Utilities, which is one of the subsidiaries of LMI Holdings. I know Mr. Kojo Dukini is in the building. If you could just wave so you can see where he is at. Yes, he's at the back there. I think one of the key things when it comes to investments, and we've heard, I think, over 2 days how the government of Ghana is creating an enabling environment that investors can take advantage of.
I need to raise my hand.
It is key to emphasize that the first people that actually take advantage of that enabling environment must be the Ghanaians themselves. And so I'm happy then to present to you what LMI Holdings, which is an indigenous Ghanaian company and a private sector player, has been doing to enable investments in Ghana, particularly into the industrial sector, take off and be sustained. LMI has been operating for close to 20 years in the development of industrial parks and provision of all the requisite services that enables investors to operate and thrive. So, in the Tema Free Zones Enclave, LMI Holdings is the major developer and has in its portfolio most of the agro-processing companies in Ghana in the cocoa sector, with Barry Callebaut, Cardell, and other Ghanaian investors, as well as in other agro-processing such as in shea nut processing. Now, what we have realized, and in fact, indeed, we talk a lot about challenges, but as every key entrepreneur knows, a challenge is an opportunity to make a difference, to fill a need. And we have taken then the challenges that exist in land acquisition, in the provision of superior logistics and utilities as opportunities for us to provide an enabling environment for the industrialization of our country. And so this is what we do. We have, in addition to the Tema Free Zones Enclave, which is a government-led industrial park, LMI has now developed for itself a private 2,000-acre private sources in Dawa. Now, Dawa is about 45 kilometers away from Tema, and for us that constitutes what we think of as the new Tema. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Ghana, it's amazing how the building of Tema in the 1960s transformed the industrial landscape in Ghana. there's no longer any space in Ghana, in Tema. And over the last 60 years, perhaps we haven't invested enough in industrial parks. And that's what we seek to do with DAWA. So already, for industry seeking to set up in Ghana, there is 2,000 acres available now in DAWA. Now, to this 2,000 acres, we already have installed all the electricity you would need and distributing it as well. So we have a substation that was funded entirely by LMI, currently available to produce or serve 132 MVA of power through our utilities subsidiary. Now what we do is we don't just build the infrastructure, we run it ourselves. Because we know that through that and through the private sector involvement, we are able to get efficiencies that ensure that you are assured of the kind of services that you will require. I'm happy to say that in Tema, for instance, our electricity distribution guarantees you up to 99.8% of uptime, inclusive of time taken off for maintenance. Indeed, we believe so much in our ability to provide the power that we do not provide any backup power for even our own offices, which are located within the enclave itself. And we intend to do the same for our DAWA site. Now, in addition to that, there's a need also to have water. And so currently we are working on building our own water treatment to serve the exclusive needs of this enclave in DAWA. Indeed, the feasibility work on that is complete. We will develop that in stages, starting with about 4,000 metric meter cube of water at the outset, increasing to about 125,000 cubic meter when we have completed it. And again, we would leverage the same efficiencies that we have brought into the electricity distribution to ensure that the tenants in our business
I need my sugars. So I'm gonna say goodbye to everyone. You wanna see what I wanna eat? Let me eat some sweet. Thank you. Let me get a plate. Thank you. It's all Ghanaian. Let me enjoy. I thought I should take a break now. So I'm gonna love you, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna take a quick break and leave them to talk about the LL, whatever they're talking about. I've watched what I wanted, so have a wonderful afternoon. Let me eat my cake now, and it's been absolutely wonderful. Let me acknowledge some people while I'm still here. Everybody who has stayed. Patrick, thank you for coming in. Donald Igwebu, it's absolutely lovely to see you. And I'm here with Marlene here today. She joined me. She managed to come. So she has told me to say hello to you. Samuel Nyando, thank you for joining in. Lati Darian, lovely to see you. Richie Anayo, always lovely to see you. Brendan, model. And of course, beauty pageant as well. We love you. And of course, Michael Iki Olayomi. I will be joining him later at around 5, 6 o'clock. Look out for me. Let's say 6 o'clock, Mr. Koiki. This program will be finished, but look out for what we're going to be bringing in. We're going to be bringing in the highlights for the week through Star Radio and what Mr. Koiki is also a journalist and media partner. We work very closely together. So look out for that interview from Mr. Koiki himself right down here in London. And from his studio, he's going to be interviewing me throughout the whole week and the highlights for the whole week. So please, everybody, if you could join in that, we should send a link later on around. Maybe let's make it about 6 o'clock, Mr. Koiki, have 6 there, but we will connect. But keep an eye on that one. We'll be talking about what is happening in London, from the UK summit to the Ghana and to the Congo and to the President of Kenya, and what we are seeing here in London. So look out for African Wonder Woman. And I believe we've also got Mr. Ayo Akinfe, and of course community leader Batha, and I definitely think I've seen someone else, but Mr. Koiki will be putting the link right down. And thank you for that, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. And today here, right live at Ghana Investment place, and I've got a press pass here today, so I'm definitely doing my part of duty. And here I'm wearing the community hat as well, and I'm also wearing my African Wonder Woman hat as well. But most so, what I really love to do is community transformation. So I'm hoping that you're learning something, connecting the world together from different parts of the world, and I'm absolutely delighted to be doing this on behalf of myself as well, and also on behalf of the Ghana summit here today. Well done to the Ghana government for what they have displayed here today, and especially in bridging bridges for the community and the diaspora to play a key role in investing their own countries, and also attracting the investment that is really needed greatly to holistically build a better Ghana. So thank you for joining in. Bishop T. Evans, thank you. They were just taking a photo over there. So Bishop T. Evans, thank you for watching all the way from Kenya. Sorry about that. In a minute. Sorry, let me hold this for me so he can take me a nice, better photo. Hold this for me. Thank you.
I should hold this. Okay. All right. So I should record you. Who is she? She's just a very, very pushy lady. From where? Very pushy. She's Kenyan. She's like all the Ghanaian, all the different countries she's in. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Good.
Thank you so much.
Great.
That's better, Hene. Thank you. Thank you, love. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, they needed to take a photo and I was holding my phone. So I thought just to stop there, because I don't want to be missed out in their highlights. So, yeah. So sorry about that, everyone. As I continue to acknowledge everybody who's joined me from across globally, I want to appreciate Kathy Cress, many thanks, who is watching from America. We love you. She's absolutely gorgeously made. I love her as a coach, as a mentor, just beautifully really made. And if you're looking for hair products, she introduced me to my Monat products, or Monat. I was told it's called Monat. Monat meaning modern nature, and that means organic, it's vegan, it's got all the kind of products. If you've got any questions for that product, just feel free to ask Kathy Chris. But as long as you contact her and tell her it's Juliet Makapila who has told you about her, she will definitely refer you to my link. So please, for those who are always asking me what condition, what do I use, please, if you want to use what I use, please, there's men and women's products. There you go. You now know who introduced me to that product. She's absolutely gorgeous, lovely made. So that is Juliet JULLIET.mymonat, which is MONAT.com. So if you log into that, you can see all the ranges of products that are sold in there, and just get yourself what you really love. And of course, it will be coming from myself. So thank you so much for that. I want to appreciate Nim Conte, Ture, I love you to beat. Bishop Annie, Njeri. I love Bishop Annie Njeri. She's always prayerful in the morning. Sometimes I see her in the morning. She prays for her mama country in Kenya, and I always follow her prayer line, especially in the morning. And whenever I want to be uplifted, Bishop Njeri uplifts all of us, and I'm constantly waking up just to catch up with her prayer line. Many thanks for Bishop Annie for coming in very early in the morning, and she prays for Mama Kenya. Bishop Annie, we've got a lot to do in Kenya, a very good example for what the Ghanaian government is doing. They have brought their diaspora together, and I'm absolutely impressed, and I shared that, and I hope our government is going to be learning something from this. As you heard, I managed to get a question, and I decided to ask my question and also comment and ask the president to also speak to other presidents across the whole of Africa, so that they're able to involve many of their African diaspora properly. As you can see, how are you? How are you? Do you want to come and let's interview you? How are you finding this conference? Here, let me interview both of you. Hold on. How are you? Yes, okay, yes. And tell us your name.
My name is Madonna Mama.
Here, let's move a little bit at the back. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Okay, so that's all right, yeah. So go on again. What's your name?
My name is Madonna Mama, and I'm a filmmaker from Sierra Leone.
Fantastic. And I've got Nim Conte, who is from Sierra Leone.
Howdy, how are you?
Thank you so much. And you are?
Niles Hailstones.
From?
Musician.
Musician from this country or from Jamaica or from?
Africa, Jamaica.
Africa, Jamaica. How are you both finding the conference? Let's start with you.
Well, it's been amazing. I mean, yesterday we had the president of Ghana.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Ghana is the gateway for Africa. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm from Sierra Leone, and we are.
I'm from Kenya, so I was saying it as well. Yeah.
So really, it's the gateway.
We've been impressed with what we've seen. Yes, we will talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah. And what's the one of your highlights?
My highlight is meeting the president.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. And was there any specific thing that you picked from the president yesterday that he said?
Just the inspiration, because he has been a big inspiration, the way he's saying for us to try and develop our country.
Mm-hmm.
How long can we be in the West?
Mm-hmm. And the way he called upon people to come back, his Ghanaian community to come back and build home.
And friends of Ghana, so you can.
I know.
You can all go.
Yes, thank you so much. And for yourself, sir, what was your highlights? All the way from Jamaica, but also you.
I haven't been able to spend that much time here. So
Okay.
This afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's just good to see
what is
people
happening.
getting organised and starting to take that move, the moves home serious. Because it's been a long time talking about returning, but it's going to take a lot of commitment all around for it to actually happen, for it to go beyond just being, an event or something where we feel good about. We need to take it further than that now and actually build the foundations of the next decade.
And just being down here and seeing some of the ministers in this country, bearing the fact that you just come in and seeing most of the ministers collaborating with people on the ground, how does that make you feel?
It's good to see.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And there's a lot of Jamaican who are actually based in, I must encourage you to visit Ghana and also Ethiopia. There's a lot of people from Jamaica who are actually building and going back. Yes. Thank you so much. I will definitely, and one more last thing. Do you want to give a shout to anybody?
And shout out to everyone that's on this journey. It's not easy, and just shout out to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm delighted you've just joined in. I'll give you the broadcast. Let me finish and then I'll come back. Many thanks for that. Thank you so much for being patient there. Is a lady that I know over there, so I thought I should just pick on her and let me just hear her overview. Oku Opong, all the way from he travels a lot. A great friend of mine. I tend to know all my friends on Facebook, and I add you for a reason, and you're all my friends. Sorry about that, my reception. You're saying, and Opong all the way who travels, and his friend as well stood in Nigeria. I hope you can see the kind of things that are happening here in Ghana, the sort of like support mechanism that Ghana is putting in place. I'm absolutely encouraged as a community change maker, and I'm going to be speaking about this for a long, long time. Thank you for that. Majid Kawa, absolutely. Dr. Majid Kawa, absolutely a lovely friend. She's written a book and a therapist as well. Many thanks for joining in here. To Gatai Robert Kazungu, thank you for joining in. And of course, PK all the way from Uganda, many thanks. I met your president yesterday, Yoweri Museveni, and that was another thing as well. Not in here, but in a different place, and I will tell you all about. He spoke about Uganda and the whole of history of Uganda, but talk to me about another time. Philly Mirazi, thank you for watching. And of course, my wonderful Reverend, prayerful, wonderful Reverend, God bless you always. Thank you so much for watching and joining in, and of course, helping us to share this as well. We love you and your family, and we are blessed to have you here with us today. Thank you so much for the prophetic ministry as well, for Prophet Prempe, that you have always followed, and thank you for encouraging myself and being prayerful for myself and my family as well. Many thanks. And of course, we've got our community leader from Liberia, Precious Tall, watching over here. She does a lot of work to identify and teach us about albinism. We appreciate you. Duncan, beautiful to see you today, and thank you for telling us, and we thank our Creator for your for what is happening in your life right now. So I'm blessed to see good recovery and stuff like that. Thank you for always joining in and supporting our talk show as well. Duncan Buchanan, I love you to bits, and be blessed, and thank you very much for also sharing and liking our programs every time. Caroline Babalola, it's always lovely to see you, Pastor, as well, and thank you. And I know I was not able to join you in your last event. We've got our event coming up in March the 20th. Please follow that. If anybody would like to be part of us for this event, we welcome you. We will be in Whitehall, and we welcome you to join and partner with us so that we are able to build our youth. So if you're watching here today in March, please get in touch with me, inbox me, be part of our program. You can see the kind of, I want people who want to join hands with us and to add value with us and work with us, and let's move the nation, both United Kingdom, as we know what is happening in United Kingdom, and let's build proper bridges with UK, Europe, the West, and of course our platform, especially UK Africa Diaspora Forum, which I'm founder of, is a community and learning space, and I want us to learn together. Many thanks all for watching. Suchi, I saw you yesterday, and thanks for following. William Munzali, Duncan all the way, William Munzali all the way in Kenya, I appreciate you as well for joining in. Kuray Dogan, lovely to see you. Benjamin, lovely to see you. And of course, Josephat Njogu Mwai, I love you. And Caroline Aopide, I did send you a request a few times, and I know the work that you do as a community leader. I follow your work as well. I love you all. I'm going to leave you, save my battery for later on, because I need to be speaking to Koiki, and follow us later on. Join us. We're going to be talking. Mr. Koiki wants to get the highlights for this week, and I tell you what, it's going to be a hot cake this evening, because we're going to be directing our energy to the post-Brexit matters, the matters that is happening here in United Kingdom, across here. And I'm not going to miss my drink, as you can see. I want to have that drink because my throat is dying for it. Until then, it's a goodbye from me, your one and only African Wonder Woman. And of course, at JNM 1000 has, my reverend would always say, it's the talk of the town, the talk of the show, the talk of the town. At JNM 1000, at JNM 1000, please subscribe to my channel as well and help me share this so that it reaches a wider audience. I love you all. Until then, it's goodbye from me. Goodbye. See you later. Bye-bye. Thank you all for joining in. And if I've forgotten anybody, please Just pardon me. Until then, see you later. Bye-bye.